Hey guys, welcome to the review and results show for the February 14th, 2023 edition of AEWDark. My name's Dan, I review each and every AEW show. That's everything from Dark Elevation to all of their pay-per-views. So if you missed the show, you want a quick recap, or you will enjoy watching everything, you want a place to talk all things AEW, you can do so right here. So please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because I want to let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also allow others to find my channel. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. Dark opens up with Angelo, Parker, and Matt Menard taking on Fuego del Sol and Leon Ruffin. Very excited to see both Fuego and Leon back in AEW, especially Fuego, who's making his 2023 debut, and obviously, as you can see, representing one of my faves. This match started off with Matt and Angelo going right after the two of them, trying to get a quick victory here, but their resiliency would not be denied as they would get drop-kicked out of the ring and end up flustering Daddy Magic so much that he said, and I quote, "Why don't you suck my ass?" Then the crowd would start chanting Daddy Fuego. Absolutely hilarious. I loved it so very much. Daddy Magic was also very vocal throughout this match, which added so much, and especially considering how quiet it can get in there. With that said, Matt and Angelo were controlled through pretty much most of this match. You did have Fuego able to fight back and work very well together. I really would be very interested to see maybe a potential tag team between the two of them in the future. I think that could be a lot of fun. Fuego did hit the Tornado DDT, and just as it looked like he was going to get the pin on Daddy Magic, it was broken up. Fuego would then try to do a tope onto him, but unfortunately for him, went right into Leon Ruffin as he was pulled in the way, took the brunt of the damage there, and then Fuego got thrown back into the ring, and they hit a double DDT on him for the win. What a fun way to start off Dark. We go backstage where Lexi is standing with Christopher Daniels, who is celebrating 30 years in professional wrestling. That's absolutely incredible that he's been wrestling for this long, and to be able to watch all that he's done up until this point has been just an absolute blast. He says that his best days aren't behind him and that no one can compete with his experience and his intelligence in the ring. He says he has an open contract to anybody who wants to accept it, and to the person who does accept it, his message is say your prayers. Strong words here, and we'll get to see who answers that contract later on in the show. Back in the ring, and this time it's Hyena Hera taking on May Suruga, and there was a huge height difference that was very apparent early on, and as soon as Hyena pointed that out, May would respond by biting down on the woman's arm. Oh my god, I love stuff like this. I'm short, so I tend to root for the shorter wrestlers, and whenever there's karma for the bigger wrestlers, I absolutely love it. Who didn't love it though was Bryce Remsburg, who was trying to retain some semblance of order here, sticking his finger in her face, telling her not to do that, but that was almost a huge mistake because she almost bit his finger off, which was hilarious. There was even a point in this match where Hyena looked to take advantage of a move, and May screamed out in fear, like really loud, sounded like she was freaking out, and it got everybody to sort of sympathize with what was going on, even got Hyena to be like, whoa, are you okay? But whenever something's too good to be true, it usually is, and this turned out to be one hell of a ruse, and ended up attacking her right afterwards. It was a bit over the top, but it was very clever, very well done. She even showed off her balance later on in the match, walking the ropes. She was very impressive and ends up getting a win with one hell of a submission. I really love to see what she can do on AEW TV. After that, it was Allen and Cameron Russell who were making their AEW tag team debut against the Varsity athletes. And both of the Russell brothers did the best they could to fight back here. They even had one hell of a hot tag. But once the Varsity athletes were able to regain control, their tag team offense was no match for them as the Varsity athletes pick up yet another win. After that, it's Kip Sabian taking on Gravity. No, not that Gravity, but Gravity, the wrestler, an actual person. Just wanted to point that out before we get any sort of confusion here. And another thing I would love to point out is Kip Sabian's theme is an absolute banger. I don't know who does it, probably Mikey Ruckus, because his themes just never miss, and I don't know if this is a brand new theme or this is a theme that's been out for a while and I just never noticed, but I absolutely loved it. And speaking of things I absolutely love, this match was a whole load of fun here. You had it switching seamlessly between being very technical to being very acrobatic and high flying at times. Both men looked really good in this match. Gravity was said to be an up-and-coming star in Lucha, and he made that very apparent throughout this match. There was even one spot in particular where it almost looked like he did a flip onto the top rope and then dove right on the Kip. Looked really, really cool, very innovative. But unfortunately for him, he relied a bit too much on the high flying. Kip would reverse it, take advantage, and then deliver a devastating knee to the face of Gravity for the win. That is a sentence that I never thought I would say. But to go out of your way to watch this one, this was a lot of fun. We then go backstage where Lexi is standing with Smart Mark and the Varsity athletes, and they talk about their recent successes and that what's next for them is absolute domination, and they agree that Josh Woods is Tony's best partner. And then off in the distance, you see Trent Beretta, who reminds them that he was once a partner of Tony Nese. And then Tony would respond by saying that he was definitely the Marty of the group, and then challenged them to a match for next week. So that's going to be something we're going to see Trent Beretta go up against Tony Nese. Back to the ring, and this time it's the reality Zack Clayton going up against Dan Adams, aka Dan the Dad. Now, I don't know why the name changed. That usually means he's signed because he did wrestle as Dan the Dad before on AEW television. I don't want to sit here and speculate because he doesn't have an All Elite graphic yet, but that would be fun to see him actually signed in AEW. I think he'd have a lot of fun matches, especially with a guy even like Danhausen, for example. I just really want to see Danhausen wrestle more. Anyway, as far as this match goes, he did his famous point to the chest and then up at his nose, but unfortunately, Zack wasn't there to have fun. He was only there to beat people up, and that's certainly what he did here. He even had the gall to rip off Dan's glasses. He can't see, Zack. He can't see, but that would lead to the finish of this match where Zack Clayton picks up yet another win. Up next, it's Jeeves K, aka VSK, another name change here, teaming up with fellow Trustbuster Sonny Kiss, taking on Brock Anderson and Brian Pillman Jr. And as was pointed out at the very beginning of this match, they don't really have a whole hell of a lot in common, but what they lack and what they have in common, they more than make up with tag team chemistry as they pull off some very nice tag team moves here. But so were Sonny and Kay in this match. It was pretty even because of it. But it was Brock and Brian who ended up picking up the win with a combination of a spine buster into a swanton bomb. I absolutely love that. This team is on the rise as they continue to get better and better. Backstage once again, and this time Lexi is standing with the Hollywood hunk, Ryan Nemeth, who takes a shot at everybody who's not from LA, calling them the ugliest people he's ever seen, tells them that they should use a bar of soap, and even tries to get Lexi to join him in a chant of "Let's go Hunk," and Lexi was not having that at all, as she clearly and even stated the fact that she does not like him whatsoever. It was a simple yet effective heel promo from Ryan. Back to the ring again, and as I stated earlier, it's Serpentico that answers the open contract from Christopher Daniels, and Serpentico is actually the one who really gets in a lot of offense, really dominates this match. Really cool of Daniels to sort of put over Serpentico in that sense, but Christopher Daniels, being the veteran that he is, was able to fight back against not only him, but the rest of the Spanish Announce Project, and ends up picking up the win with the best moonsault ever. After that, it's Jade Spade going up against the Trustbusters' Ari Daivari, and before the match, Ari promised that regardless of how he wins, but if Jade Spade ends up picking up the win, he would give him and everybody in the arena $1,000, so already a lot on the line here. I know I certainly wouldn't mind another $1,000 in my bank account, and he ended up becoming everyone's favorite wrestler, including Excalibur and Taz, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Their little back and forth. And even though he did come close a few times, it was all for naught as Ari does indeed pick up the win, costing everyone $1,000. What a heel. Up next, it's Diamonte versus Ultraviolet, and early on, Diamonte said she was going to kick her ass, and that's exactly what she did. Ultraviolet did get in some offense, though, looked good doing it, but really, this was all Diamante from start to finish, and ends up picking up the win with 3 consecutive German suplexes, with the last one going right into the pin. Then we have Larry Lazard, Teriyaki. God, I absolutely love that name. Might be my favorite new name in professional wrestling. And Jay Lucas against Dalton Castle and the boys. And with the name like that, Taz chimed in with no relation to Wasabi. I will admit that I laughed a bit longer than I probably should have had that joke, but I do love jokes like that. And speaking of things that do make me smile, Dalton Castle and the boys are always just so much fun to watch. The amount of energy they put into everything is absolutely awesome. Their opponents, they look great as well, with Larry Lazard doing a standing shooting star press, which is always cool to see. But that wouldn't last for long, though, as Dalton would regain control here and ends up throwing his boys at both of his opponents and ends up picking up the win with the bangarang. It's main event time with Konosuke and Takeshita taking on Bronson of Iron Savages. And this was one hell of a fight from start to finish. You had a lot of forearms back and forth, diving tope from Takeshita, a boss man slam from Bronson. Takeshita even showed off his strength by hitting a fantastic looking Blue Thunder Bomb. Bronson's pump handle slam also looked equally impressive, but it's Takeshita giving Bronson a last ride powerbomb and then a running knee to the face to cap off a very fun Dark. And that was AEW Dark. What did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comment section below. This was an absolute blast from start to finish, but if I had to pick two matches for you guys to check out, certainly Kip Sabian's match with Gravity and Hyena Hera versus Suruga was also a ton of fun. With that said, if you did enjoy this review, please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, as always let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also allows others to find my channel. So thank you guys once again for checking out this review, and thank you guys for being all elites.